Hello everybody, Bubbles is here, and I know I haven't made a video in a while, but that's because I've had a lot of football and I won't be making as many videos for quite a while, but today I'm back at it again with a new video, which is going to be the top 10 rivalries in sports, and this isn't, let's say, the Cleveland Browns versus the Jackson Jaguars. This isn't a team rivalry. This is a player versus player. It can be an individual sport, it can be a team sport, but two players. And this is in no particular order besides the number one, which I think is probably the number one player v player sports rivalry. Also, there were so many rivalries, old, new, still in the coming, and it was hard to just get 10. And there are some that I would really like to have placed on this list, but I didn't. And if you would like to see a part 2, make sure you tell me down in the comments below and give this video a big like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Now, we're going to get into it with the number 10 on our list, getting a big one out of the way. Stephen Curry and LeBron James. Stephen Curry and LeBron James have been rivals for only maybe 3-4 years now. But they're big rivals since they've seen each other in the championship several times on the Cavaliers and the Warriors. And they are two of the NBA's biggest players, and naturally they are rivals. Stephen Curry being a sharpshooting point guard and LeBron James being a giant, nice three-point shooter, small forward. And I have to say, on this one, on each one, I'll say who I prefer. I prefer LeBron James in this matchup because of his size, and this isn't just who I like. This isn't who I think is better. It's the one I like more in the rivalry. Now, number 9 on the list, Phil Mickelson versus Tiger Woods. Now, Tiger Woods lately, he and Phil have both been legends for a long time, but all of a sudden, Tiger Woods, he was up here going, and he kind of stopped, and then he's plummeting down. His career just dropped off. Maybe it was because of age or something else. Who really knows? But right now, Tiger Woods is kind of out of the scene, and so is Phil Mickelson a bit. I don't really watch golf a lot, but I do know that these two guys are huge rivals. And out of the two, I think I'd have to do with Phil Mickelson. I don't really know why, but Tiger Woods, he just dropped off. Phil Mickelson seems a lot more consistent in his golfing career, which is kind of why I like him a bit more. Number 8 on the list, old team rivals, the young versus the new, Steve Young versus Joe Montana. Now, if you haven't heard the story in the NFL, I think it was in the 80s, and Joe Montana, great franchise quarterback, but then off the team because he was too old, and they put in this new guy. He's called Steve Young. Yeah, he was amazing. And so was Joe Montana, but naturally they started a rivalry because Joe Montana got kicked out because of Steve Young. Both of these quarterbacks really, really good, and both of them played for the 49ers. After Joe Montana left, he played for different teams, but after the 49ers, he didn't really have as good of a career. But I'm going to have to still go with Joe Montana just because I feel like he left a bit more of a mark on San Francisco, and I feel like he was a bit of the better football player. Number 7 on the list, our first soccer rivalry, the big one, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. Messi and Ronaldo, two soccer players, and at my old school, soccer was everything. Everyone loved soccer, and it was always, do you like Ronaldo, do you like Messi? And I'm not really a soccer guy. I played basketball, football, mainly. Sometimes I'll do running or track, and at lunch, sometimes I'll play kickball. But soccer, I'm not very good at it, and I don't really watch it a lot. But I do know that Ronaldo and Messi are two big rivals. And lately, I feel like Ronaldo's been having the edge, but I still have to go with Messi, just because I had a lot of more of my friends who liked Messi more, so that kind of influenced me. Number 6, a tennis matchup, Roger Federer versus Rafael Nadal. Two big tennis players who are getting a little bit older, especially Roger Federer, but they're still, especially Roger Federer, very good tennis players who are competing at a high level. And overall, the two, some of the best tennis players that have ever been seen, and their rivalry is historic and still not over. And for me, I do play a bit of tennis. I used to play, my mom plays tennis a lot, so she's very up to the sport with it. But for me, I'm going to have to go with Roger Federer, just because I think my mom likes him a bit better. Either way, though, I could root for either one. It really just depends on the matchup. Number 5 on the list, another football rivalry, Odell Beckham, the one-hand catcher, and Josh Norman. These are two guys whose teams are kind of rivals, and they play at opposite positions, wide receiver, cornerback, so they're both facing each other. They're the number 1 wide receiver / cornerback, respectively, in their team. So they are very big rivals because they're always facing each other. And each year, I really look forward to seeing this matchup. Who's going to get the better edge? The shutdown corner Josh Norman or the one-handed catching machine Odell Beckham? Overall, though, I'm going to have to go with Josh Norman, who's better. Just because there's a lot of great wide receivers, but at the cornerback position, Josh Norman really just stands out overall. Number 4 on the list, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. And you might have thought this was going to be the one I saved for last that was number 1, but Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson was a long time ago. I never saw it, and not as many people really talk about it now. But still, these two guys, really good players for their teams, especially Larry Bird on the Celtics, carrying them to many championships. And I'm going to have to go with Larry Bird, just because his last name is so cool, Larry Bird. And also, my friend Jean-Marc really likes the Celtics, and if I didn't pick Larry Bird, he would probably throw a fit at me. Number 3 on our list, the sister rivalry, Serena versus Venus Williams. Venus Williams is 2 years younger, and everyone knows that Serena is probably the better player, but I have to go with Venus since she's the underdog, and she's probably going to be playing for longer anyways. But these two sisters are a big rivalry. They're both very good women tennis players. They usually see each other whenever they're in a competition. And what can I really say else? There's so much hype whenever they're going against each other, and they're really good players, and I have to go with Venus, who's better. Number 2, this is probably going to be the runner-up. Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. Probably the best boxing rivalry ever. Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time. He died recently, and he is an incredible boxer. Then Joe Frazier, the challenger, the competitor, another amazing boxer legend. But I have to go with Muhammad Ali since he's more motivational. But this boxing rivalry will go down in history as probably the best you'll ever see because of just how great boxing was at this time, how hyped and surrounded it was, and how much people loved to see these two face against each other. And number 1, I would say, best player v player rivalry. Tom the GOAT Brady and Peyton Manning. They are amazing. 2 franchise quarterbacks on the Colts, Patriots respectively, and then Peyton Manning left the Denver Broncos. He was on there and he just retired. Tom Brady on Madden 18 cover. He's the GOAT, greatest of all time. But I have to like Peyton Manning more just because I hate the Patriots and I hate Tom Brady. So I gotta love Peyton Manning a bit more, even though I did hate him when he was on the Broncos and I like the Chargers. But these two really great quarterbacks faced each other, and people say that Tom Brady could be better because he did win more out of the times against Peyton Manning, but when Peyton Manning won, it was bigger since he won two of his times. He won, it was a AFC Conference Championship, and then he went on to go to the Super Bowl, which I would argue it was a bigger game, so it mattered more, so Peyton Manning should be considered the better one. Also, I feel like Tom Brady had a much better team around him, while Peyton Manning still has had a great team around him, but Peyton Manning has had not as good of a team around him, which is why I think Peyton Manning is better. That is it for our list. Thank you for watching. And this was the top 10 sports player rivalries. Let me just go over the list again. Number 1, Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Number 2, Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. Number 3, Venus versus Serena Williams. Number 4, Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. Number 5, Odell Beckham versus Josh Norman. Number 6, Roger Federer versus Rafael Nadal. Number 7, Ronaldo versus Messi. Number 8, Steve Young versus Joe Montana. Number 9, Phil Nicholson versus Tiger Woods. And number 10, Stephen Curry versus LeBron James. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see a part 2, make sure to tell me. And if you have any other considerations for a part 2, I will take it into account. Tell me what you think are the top 10 best player v player sports rivalries. And without further ado, Bubbles is out.